The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.com.
Welcome to Beyond the Headlines with hosts MJ, H-Train, and Terry. Each week we put today's news into perspective. Join us on Facebook, X, YouTube, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV, or anywhere you get your podcast. MBR, giving veterans a voice.
And we're back.
Hello. Welcome to Monday, September the 22nd. This year's flying by. We're already in our Burr months, which means our bear guide is with us. And we are in the new moon. And it's not only just a new moon, it is a solar eclipse new moon. Get out there, feel that energy. So if you think black and white and water and oil, that's the energy we're in, that Virgo. So think before you process, before you speak. Love it. Hi, Terri.
Hello.
How's your day today? How are we starting this beautiful fall equinox?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, today I woke up and I was torn because today is the first day of fall. That means that winter is coming. That means no more riding the bike, no more shorts. It's just so depressing. There's some people that like fall. I don't like fall. And the first thing that I don't like about fall is when you go to Walmart and there's nothing but Halloween shit out. It's Halloween coming up. So, yeah. But other than that, it was pretty good. You know, I dropped some of the uniforms and stuff off of the embroidery to get that. We have a couple of interns that are going to be patched here. We have a couple of interns that are going to be patched, and on top of that, we also have five. I said five, not one, not two, but five new shows coming up this week. So that means that before football season ends, I think we're going to have close to 50 shows, guys.
Wow. That is fantastic. Congratulations to Military Broadcast Radio and its affiliates. Yay! And your little duck down there, what do you got going on there? Is that little beaker tweaker top? Oh, it's a fidget kidget. Is that what that is?
Yeah. You know, hey, you have those. You see it on TikTok shop, those fidget things where it's like the bass drum. You know. No, my mind's just spinning. Just spin it.
Oh, the Chinese got your mind, buddy.
Probably. You know, actually, if I put it straight forward like this, right, and I say this is a little pointer, we could put spin the bottle.
Spin the duck.
Yeah, spin the bottle, and it's landing on Tracer. So now she has to go first with her story. We can use this to a lot of different things.
Go on, Trace.
I don't know if I'm qualified for that.
I refuse to take anybody who wants change for $1. It ain't happening.
Well, hey, you know, also good news is we just got confirmation with Jersey Mike's. We're gonna be sending out some turkey sandwiches to the veterans of Buckley Air Force Base.
Nice.
So it's gonna happen. It just takes some time, you know. You gotta cut that red tape. It just takes some time, but we'll get her done. We always do.
That's awesome.
Fantastic. Thank you so much to the Jersey Mike outfitters that supply our food every Friday to our studio and now to our veterans in need. And I know that they always come through Thanksgiving too. So yeah, very promising. And let's not forget, MBR also has our Reese Across America. Terri.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, girl. Plug it.
Yeah, so we'll play the commercial during the show, but you can buy a wreath. And when you buy a wreath for $17, 5 of it comes back to MBR to help support our programming. And you can honor somebody that's currently living or somebody that's passed. Either way, all the wreaths will get placed at Arlington National Cemetery. I think you can say where you want it to go if you don't want it to go there, but otherwise it defaults to Arlington National, and you can order one for somebody's birthday and give it in honor of their birthday. I did that. And the person that I gave it to was pretty honored and thought that was a really neat gift that their name would be at Arlington National honoring a veteran. So they thought that was a pretty neat deal. So I think that's a really good way to kind of give back and let somebody else have some joy in knowing that they're part of that giving back.
Fred Weinecke, he actually goes to Arlington to place them on the wreaths. So if anybody out there who would like information, if you want to go to Arlington Cemetery, I will put you in contact with Fred. He has a chapter in Erie, Pennsylvania, that they literally go and gather people to actually start laying the wreaths. Because if you've never been to Arlington Cemetery, that's a lot of wreaths.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
It's beautiful.
And if you're in the Colorado area, we have Mark Stallion. He is one of the hosts here at MBR. He does Freedom Chat. If you get with him at National Fort Logan National Park, he will go to you whichever grave that you pick, and he will play taps for you during that time. So
beautiful.
National Fort Logan, I forget his nonprofit, but if you're in the Colorado area and you would like someone to play taps for your veteran as you're putting the wreath on the gravestone, reach out to us. We'll make it happen.
That's
Since
awesome.
we're in the Burr months, Joel, keep talking about the adventures. So Military Broadcast Radio in our Burr months, they do different things. They do stuff for Halloween. They do Thanksgiving, and they also have baskets at Christmas. Do you want to explain some of those, Joel?
Sure. Well, the Thanksgiving thing, that's kind of a new thing. It stopped in 2020. They used to serve Thanksgiving and stuff at Buckley Air Force Base to some of the troops that couldn't make it over to the barracks, across the station. And you have to understand, this is not just one duty station. This is every single duty station in the United States. Whenever we go on holiday, there's always a chow hall that closes, and there's always a chow hall that remains open. It's one way to give like the cooks a weekend off kind of thing. And what we're doing is, instead of making our soldiers or airmen, I guess, making our airmen walk clear across space to go to another chow hall to get something to eat just because it's Thanksgiving, it's bad enough that they're probably going to be without the family. It's bad enough that they're probably going to be kind of stuck on base. Not everybody gets to go on leave, people. Not everybody gets to leave. I mean, that's just logistics, So we're going to be providing 300 sandwiches. I believe it's 150 turkey, 50 ham, and I think like 20 or 30, vegetarian sandwiches, which, I don't really pay attention. Nobody cares about vegetarian.
I do, and they're so good. I love them.
I get the turdunkins.
So we've got that going on, and then it's turning out to be like a Christmas reunion, because we're expecting some hosts to fly in for Christmas. So that will be enjoyable, and we'll be giving those baskets away to the veterans, like every year. This is year 8.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So please help sponsor, because we got to get some good things to put in those baskets.
Right. And it's real easy to sponsor, people. Like, if you want to help, it's too easy. Go buy 55 covers, or go Go buy 55 bottles of Pert Plus or shampoo or toothpaste. That's the number is 55. In fact, I was telling Tracer that I won't spend money on toiletries. What I'll do is I'll go to the hotels and stuff and ask them, hey, will you donate your little novelty toiletries and stuff? Because usually if I get enough to cover 55, anything past that, I always do the humane thing and donate that to the trick-or-treaters. All trick-or-treaters need shampoo and soap.
It's the intent that counts, I guess, right?
It is. It's
Where's your hair, you darn kids? You're getting lice in there.
It's the thought that counts. Well, I could get a bunch of like race cars and say, hey, here for Halloween, I got you a new Corvette. It's the thought that counts.
Right. There you go.
Oh, I used to have this lady when I grew up. Didn't live like near us, but when I was with like my high school kids being brats. But anyway, we would trick or treat within Danville or whatever. And this lady would give out. She would open up a bag of peanut M&Ms and she would sit one peanut M&M in our bag. I was like, well, I guess it's the intent that counts. One, not bag. One.
It's funny that you bring that up.
Oh,
a great fundraiser. Did you know that if you put like a bowl of water and you put a lemon in that bowl of water, okay, just a round lemon, right? And you put it, you tell everybody, hey, if you can balance a quarter on the lemon in the water, you'll get $50. Like, it's a really good fundraiser. I never even thought about that. We're thinking about doing that at Jersey Mike's, put water, a lemon there, put, a little snazzy little quote thing and say, hey, look, if you win or whatever, you'll get this big, huge prize from MBR or whatever. But if not, hey, thanks for your quarter.
Yeah, all the volunteer fire stations here, they do 50-50 raffles. So throughout the week, like if any of the fire, they have the bars inside, and you go and they give you the raffle tickets, and you just put your name, and every time you go, you can even, like, depending on what you're doing, you can always round up, and then so much rounding up will get you more tickets. And at the very end, it's how much money's in the kitty. It's 50-50. And that was an easy way for, the stations just to bring in their money.
Well, I have to do that. And, Tracer, you should do that in the office. You should do that in the office. See if anybody comes, because we have offices. MJ doesn't have office. She's like Snow White. She has the deers.
She has all the animals.
I got lost with talking with my daughter, watching a herd of deer in the side pasture, and I was like, wow, it's getting dark, and I'm like, holy crap, it's getting dark. And I was like, what time is it? And so I ran. But that's true, Joel. I don't know what you have a spy cam on me?
Huh?
You have a spy cam on me?
Nobody needs to know.
What is MJ doing on that mountain over there?
Nobody needs to know. Calm down.
God, everything's gonna be okay. Thank you, calming me down. I tell you, we don't even use clocks up here. It's amazing how I can be on time, because half the time I don't know what time it is, and I love that. I love that it is beyond time and space for me. So I've reached that pinnacle. But I do want to come out to this. I want to come out. I can't come out this Thanksgiving because I'm gonna cook a turkey this year.
That's okay. Come out Christmas.
I got grandbabies.
Well, it's December 3rd.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I could.
Yes.
Oh, I could.
Yes.
I could.
Yes.
Definitely. I wanted to go February, and I thought we can go. Every time I make plans, somebody gets married or some other crap happens. Something always comes up. So, and I did tell my husband, I'm like, I need to go to Colorado. I need to go to the studio. I need to meet some of these beautiful people.
I need to go to Colorado because I need a shirt that fits.
Yeah, forget it. I have a dress.
That's right.
It's all good because I can wear it like with a shirt, and then anyway, we don't have to discuss that. We're not to discuss MJ's wardrobe because someday I'm gonna have hair and makeup in this darn freaking station.
Yeah.
Another thing we don't do up here, we let the rats do it. No, it's okay.
Well, we should probably go on break, and when we come back from break, what is the first story that you want to hit into, MJ?
I think we should hit what you were asking with you.
Well, we'll hit that. We'll hit that like the second part of the hour, like the last 30 or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we can then discuss
Okay.
the parameters of anything within the White House turns on a positive note.
Okay. All right.
That
all right.
is
Well.
joint in together.
Okay. All right.
All right. Well, we're going to go for a break.
We're going to go on break.
So let's play Reese Across America. Let's play our little radio spot about that.
All right.
At Military Broadcast Radio, the goal is to offer a platform for mental health advocacy while connecting the military community through various media platforms. Founded by U.S. Army veteran Joel Hunt, MBR gives a voice to veterans, first responders, and their families through streaming radio, podcasts, video, and outreach events. With its leadership run completely by veterans and hosts of the diverse programming from all branches of service, MBR was created as a response to the silent battles veterans face after service. Military Broadcast Radio is also a Wreaths Across America partner, hosting a $5 back sponsorship group page. For every Veterans Wreath sponsored through the Military Broadcast Radio page, MBR receives $5 back to help support their platforms and outreach. Veteran and first responder stories need to be told and shared. And with your support, MBR can continue to bring together veteran nonprofits, mental health organizations, and government agencies to bridge the gap between veterans and vital resources. To find out more and donate, visit wreathacrossamerica.org/MBR.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.net.
And now we're back.
Okay. Are we all ready?
We are.
We are ready.
All right. So I'll do mine first. I want to talk about our mortgage rates.
Oh, yeah.
What is happening? Hey, stop that now. Now, brown cow. So there's ups and downs with this, right? So right now, the current 30-year fixed mortgage rate in the United States is 6.9 to 7%, depending on lender, credit score, and down payment, et cetera. As we know this for the next 15-year fixed is lower, generally in the mid 5% range. But why aren't they going? I mean, you hear this controversy all the time that Trump promised, but I'm not defending him. But unfortunately, when you speak, such as I will do something, when there's a whole bunch of free will around you that could lead not into that place, then there's a little bit more of a hill that you have to climb up, right? Just saying. Some people were very scared to lower the things, but everybody else around the world and their stock markets and everything else went down. But the stock markets are consumed with why? And so when you look at the reasons, the bond yields at the 10-year Treasury joins, the mortgage rates are so tightly tied to yields on long-term government bonds, especially that 10-year Treasury, the Treasury yields are high. And then it takes the mortgage rates up because of those bonds. And I'm not sure people really understand it, but there's also inflation expectations and inflation's for itself. And investors demand higher yields if they are expecting that inflation to stay high. So because of inflation, that erodes future payments. And then that pushes back the yields, which then pushes up the mortgage rates. Even though the Fed has cut its target rate, somewhat inflation is pretty sticky these days. So there's so many things that go into, these mortgage rates today. And I know that the commissioner for the Federal Reserve came on. I think his name is Powell, and said he was lowering it a half a point. But lowering it a half a point with fiscal year budget that's already increasing every year, like everything always does, housing and fiscal years always increase by 1% to 2%. It's actually, people are like, it's still going up. It did go down. But unfortunately, because of fiscal year period, you're not seeing it. You're seeing that higher rate coming up than anything else. So what's the good news? The good news now is that we know basically what our weakest link is, right? So if we have a weak link, then knowing that that's a weak link in our system, then you got to do something about it. So I kind of feel, as much as I don't want to say it, but it's kind of like everybody else. If you're not going to do your job, or you're not going to do it in the aspects of what the country needs and the best for the country, then you got to go. I have a sneaky suspicion Mr. Powell is going to be on a chopping block here really soon and finding new Federal Reserve people, because if the world in general has gone down and you refuse to go down because you don't like something like the big, beautiful bill and you're fighting against it, I don't think that's fair to the American citizens or to the worldwide citizens who are looking for those Federal Reserve rates. So good news is it's been aware. Mediocre news is everybody understands why it's rare, because if not, we can go into further detail. But the bad thing is stop condemning something that was already in existence 9 months prior to this administration. This was already a disaster in its face, and having to fix balance and order has to fix those Federal Reserve rates. So let's flip the pattern and understand that what's happening trying to make these deals across the board with imports and exports obviously is going to affect our living stance here. And that has to be. And it's going to crunch. And it did crunch us for 9 months. But now it's time for everything to turn around. And he's the only one that's not turning it around. So the flip is, sir, become aware of the surroundings, and you have free will to speak or do. However, you know they're going to have consequences.
You know, and I think you touched on something there, MJ, because, you know, first of all, like that Powell or whatever, I think that, like, the popularity right now in society is, you know, not a lot of people like Trump. That's the popularity in society.
In Colorado, you mean?
Well, yeah, especially here in Colorado. I think it goes a little bit further than Colorado. You know, I think it goes to a lot of places. You know, I think it goes to, you know, that Powell, you know, that has to do with the Federal Reserve. I think it has to do with, you know, probably 80% of the reporters that are in the White House conference, because every time I hear the way a question is asked, it's like, tell me that you don't like him without telling me that you don't like him. I mean, it's just the way they phrase a question. You know, they don't even phrase that kind of questions the NFL, the network, because they know that if they ask it the wrong way, they won't be called on anymore. You know.
So I helped you out here. Trump's recent approval rating polls put him between 40 and 41% approving of his performance, with disapproval generally being higher. And that is coming from South China Morning Post. Now, what do you think it truly is? Now, that is a communist country.
Well, and that's the reason why I was saying is.
Yeah, but you have to, where's the publication? So that fact that I just looked up on your ChatGPT stuff,
right?
I'm going to go back and saying, that's great, but since when is China reporting my popularity vote of the United States citizens? See,
Australia does that too, MJ. But the reason
it doesn't matter. That's not what my bottom line is. We're making a comment, but I can understand California, there's not going to be a popular vote. Colorado, there's not going to be a popular vote.
Right. And that's what and what I was getting ready to say is that the segment and what I was talking about is the whole Jimmy Kimmel situation. You know, Jimmy Kimmel, they took him off because of something that he said. That's what they said. But I mean, we even agree he's not funny. He's not funny. The views, all that stuff, you can see for yourself. The ratings, they went down. Hell, to be honest with you, like I mean, I don't know how you guys feel, but the last person that did a late show that like everybody really enjoyed, at least the majority, was Johnny Carson, you know?
Right.
And I honestly thought, oh, what is his name? He
Jay
he
Leno?
does the night, not
Oh,
Jimmy
no.
Kimmel. He does the night show, and he's funny, but even he kind of bullies and stuff. But he does like the games and stuff at Night Live. You know, the karaoke and the pie in the face and stuff. I forget his name.
I don't remember who that would be.
It, gosh, I forget his name. He does the late night show, I believe, on NBC.
Jimmy Fallon?
Jimmy Fallon, yes.
Seth Meyers?
Yes, Jimmy Fallon. Yeah, Jimmy Fallon, I think he's a great host. As long as he doesn't talk about politics and stuff. He has like a variety. I think I think that's awesome. He kind of does the same thing, you know, Johnny Carson did, you know, but when all these comedians come out and, you know, they start talking and attacking, like, you know, politics and stuff like that. See, I don't think it's funny because I don't really follow the politics. So whatever they talk politics, man, that shit goes over my head like an airplane.
Well, I'm going to try to help you out here just so that I can flip some things, because this is a major controversy with the FCC and freedom of speech, and people don't get it through their thick heads because, of course, like usual, the United States of America, every time a new administration comes in, they get to have their own little damn rules. So there are cute little rules over the last 10 to 15 years were to remove history from existence. Let's get rid of the library books. Let's not teach the history, and let's like shut down and burn all the statues that ever could tell us anything about our life lessons of history. So that being said, with this, please know that FCC has guidelines that it cannot be biased or it cannot be inaccurate information that is spewed by the network stations. 2 of the 3 stations who were producing ABC and Disney backed out of the contracts. Now, why did they back down? The second quarter of 2025, the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, they had 2.4 million viewers. However, in the demographic between the 18 to 49 years old, they only had 219,000. Okay? 2.4, according to NBC's late night rating reveals, right? The recent Nielsen's. Jimmy Kimmel had 1.7 million and only 220,000 edge Colbert nearly in the demographics of 18 to 49. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon was worse than Stephen Colbert at 1.18 million. He barely breached Jimmy Kimmel's numbers with a demographic lower at 157,000 viewers. And then Gutfields comes in with 3.3 million viewers with demographics of 283,000. Now, I don't know about you, but TV is business. These people make money, right?
Right.
If your ratings aren't there, you lose money. They have been losing money for the last 5 years. It has slowly gone down, and you can check it for yourselves out there. I just read you the Nielsen ratings through ChatGPT. Right. So you can read for yourself. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this with pride and courage and strength in my heart and my soul. When you want to disregard a human life, and you want to make sarcastic remarks, or you want to say something stupid like he deserved it, or somebody did that to push him in that line, and that's not even the truth of the story, you've lost humanity. And that's why you're getting fired from your position. That's why, between your Nielsen readings and saying something that's inhumane, you desperately need help. If you, anybody out there, I don't care who you are, if you think that that death of Charlie Kirk is any type of smirk, joke, or you perceive that they did that and he should have gotten that as a reward of punishment, you are definitely unhealed. And I'm encouraging each and every one of you, please pick up the mental hotline and get help, because that is disgusting. That is not in God we trust. That is in Satan. And that is not good. That is not good for our society. And then people are finally waking up that you don't even respect a human life. That's sad.
Well, I guarantee you that 90% of the people that cancel their subscription had nothing to do with Jimmy Kimmel. It had to do with they thought that Trump or the administration had something to do with it, and they just wanted to join the bandwagon.
Of course, that's Antifa, and there's Antifa. We can talk about Antifa because that's going to blur right on into it. Antifa has ruled the roost in here because of Obama's administration, and it's been here since. And thank you to Mr. Soros, who pays those agitators to do this. Again, that is unhealed. Portland, Oregon is one of them. Chicago has been one of them for a very, very long time. And I think taking out Antifa is going to make a huge change in the overall scope of destruction and demolishing to make the United States back to a more calmer, more safer place. And taking out all the criminals, over 15,000 alone, just 15,000 just in DC. That's a lot. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
So I encourage anybody who's listening and anybody who wants to hear this, and I encourage you, stop understanding that you've been brainwashed in your demographic of your region, of your state, of your locality, of your community that you were born. If it is proven to be very one-sided, try jumping and flipping to the other side once to look at it clearly and process it clearly. Find a balance within and encourage those. That's what Charlie Kirk was doing, finding God. It doesn't have to be. He was very Christian, very Anglo-Saxon Christian. You don't need to be, because when you got the Spirit of God in your soul, you know what's morally right and wrong. But don't let your community and your ancestral line and stuff change that feeling. So flip that pattern immediately, because when you think that your opinion is the highest opinion in the world and you strongly want somebody to switch their opinion, that is an empowerment. That is not a balance. And that's not what Charlie Kirk, there's things about Charlie Kirk that he didn't like about Trump. And he openly said that I understand he is our chief in command because it was the best position to hold out of who was running. And I encouraged him because he did a lot. He did a lot for the youth, encouraging them to believe and encouraging them to have a positive, more attitude, and understanding that science is building the reputation around the brain to be dysfunctional as far as genetics, as far as these LGBTQs. And my heart goes out to them as well. And now I'll get off my soap opera, but that community, they were in with Obama, out with Trump, in with Biden, out with Trump. It's not, and I always tell my friends who are trans or my friends who are part of that I love them and that I can't even understand the mental capacities that you are going through to manipulate and change in. I can't even imagine that anxiety or that stress that it's a yes and a no, it's a yes and a no. But then again, is it morally right to some of those who believe in the actual, Bibles? They're going to be judging. The ones who call themselves Christians but yet judge. Hence Erica last night, who said, I have forgiven you. That was power. That was strength. And that was courage. And I'm sure there was a bit of anger having to let go to rip your heart like that. So be kind, because you don't know who's going through what and what mental capacity they are, no matter what is stacked upon them. And understand that conscious positive comes from the awareness of being positive. And that is a goal in itself.
We need to take a quick break. So we're going to play Scotty Frazier, Worth Fighting For. Here we go.
and the courage to stand and fight.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.net.
What happened to our girl? There she is. Let's go, girl.
There we go.
My internet is having gremlins tonight. I don't know what it's wanting to do, but it's not wanting to cooperate. I know that.
I was gonna play the football bumper just so everybody knows. As soon as we get done with this, we have full speed ahead. They'll be on, and then it is time for Monday Night Football. And just so that you know, for those that follow football, because I know MJ doesn't follow football. It is the Detroit Lions against the Baltimore Ravens tonight for Monday, September 22nd. So that is your thing about that. And now we're going to go to today. We had a special message, an address from. I still think it's kind of funny, just because it's Dr. Oz, from Oprah Winfrey. I don't know why, but I just think it's funny. But him and JFK and or JKR, I can't, too many syllables. Him and Trump, they've all lined up. It is the as the White House turns.
Meteoric rise in autism is among the most alarming public health developments in history. There's never been anything like this. Just a few decades ago, 1 in 10,000 children had autism. So that's not a long time. And I've always heard, they say a few, but I think it's a lot less time than that. It used to be 1 in 20,000, then 1 in 10,000. And I would say that's probably 18 years ago. And now it's 1 in 31, but in some areas it's much worse than that, if you can believe it, 1 in 31. And I gave numbers yesterday. For boys, it's 1 in 12. I was told that's in California, where they have for some reason, a more severe problem. But whether it's 1 in 12 or 1 in 31, can you imagine? That's down from 1 in 20,000 and 1 in 10,000. And now we're at the level of 1 in 12 in some cases for boys, 1 in 31 overall. So since 2000, autism rates have surged by much more than 400%. Instead of attacking those who ask questions, everyone should be grateful for those who are trying to get the answers to this complex situation. And the first day all of these great doctors behind me were there, I told them, this is what we have to find out. Because when you go from 20,000 to 10,000, and then you go to 12, there's something artificial. They're taking something. And by the way, I think I can say that there are certain groups of people that don't take vaccines and don't take any pills that have no autism. Does that tell you something? That's currently, is that a correct statement, by the way?
There are some studies that suggest that, with the Amish, for example.
The Amish, yeah, virtually. I heard none. See, Bobby wants to be very careful with what he says, and he should, but I'm not so careful with what I say. But you have certain groups. The Amish, as an example, they have essentially no autism. First, effective immediately, the FDA will be notifying physicians that the use of let's see how we say that. Acetaminophen. Is that okay? Which is basically commonly known as Tylenol, during pregnancy, can be associated with a very increased risk of autism. So taking Tylenol is not good. All right, I'll say it. It's not good.
So my first thing that I'm going to say is, well, we'll see what happens, but I think Tylenol is going to strike back. They're gonna come back with like a lawsuit or some shit. Just watch. But ladies and gentlemen, the White House has done it again yesterday, or today's big announcement. Apparently, Tylenol might cause autism. Yep, the same Tylenol that has been in every medicine cabinet since the dawn of time. But now, I don't know about you, but I'm starting to think that these announcements are written by Magic 8 Ball. Should we panic today? Outlook hazy, try again. So let me get this straight. Pregnant moms can't take Tylenol anymore, but don't worry. They've got a miracle cure lined up. It's called Lyricon. Sounds fancy, right? Except it's basically folic acid, the same stuff you find at Walgreens next to the Flintstone vitamins. Meanwhile, scientists everywhere are slamming their heads against the desk so hard, they're going to need Tylenol. Oh, wait, they can't take that either. And the best part was when reporters asked if moms should stop taking it, the official answer was, ask your doctor. Which, let's be real, it's Washington speak for. We have no clue, but we hope someone else does. So stay tuned, folks. Tomorrow's announcement might be that chicken soup cures everything as long as it's organic, gluten-free, and blessed by Dr. Oz. So, you know, I make jokes about that, but, you know, one of the things that Trump did say, which we should probably take note, is that autism isn't very popular in the Amish society. So that's the number one thing. And then you was talking about, MJ, how like Tylenol didn't get big until like the 70s, and that's when all this shit
Or the
started.
50s and 60s.
Yeah. So, you know, hey, look, they might have they might be onto something here, you know? I mean, I don't know why we didn't think that alcohol couldn't cause cancer. I mean, we found that out this last year that alcohol can cause cancer, just like, you know, tobacco and all that stuff. Why we didn't think that, I have no idea, but, you know, that was like a breaking thing, you know? The truth is anything that you put in your body that's not natural, you're always going to have that potential of side effects, you know? That's the reason why when I take my PT medicine, I have Hershey squirts for about 2 hours, okay? That's just how it is.
Back to the poop. So I agree. Go ahead, Terry. I think you should comment.
No, I agree. I mean, there's side effects with most of the things we take, and you know those labels are so long, you don't take the time to read through all of them. Sometimes you do, but there's so much. And they always tell you it's such a minimal risk, and so don't worry about it because you know people take it all the time. Everything's just fine. So you know there are a lot of side effects with a lot of these things we take, and that's why you know they have been pushing holistic medicine more and more because you know it doesn't have those same side effects that some of this chemical concoctions tend to do. So yeah, I mean I agree.
So here's my take, and you know I'm a big pharma pusher. Not. So not. I will eat a plant before I put anything of a pill in my mouth. And I've learned, and I had faith to learn that you can heal your body. I'm sitting here writing a book, and it's called Medical Miracle, and y'all can do the same thing because I mean, come on, where's Dimetap? How come no one's taking Dimetap anymore?
Yeah, they took it off the market.
Right. Two things I want to flip in everybody's mind with what Jewel read. Number one, it's not the administration. Number two, it's not Washington, D.C. because the FDA and the science that governs the FDA and diseases, these two things are told to, and then to make a position like the Department of Health, then it goes to the Department of Health of RFK. They said it in their speech that they were going to try to find this out and put pressure on the FDA. This lies on FDA, just like Fauci, right? So we're going to damn Fauci, but now with this Tylenol, since the beginning of 1950s, we're going to damn Trump. Get the freak out of here. No. This, you need to flip. Everybody needs to flip that right out of their damn mind because there are things that we took as kids. Look at the polio vaccine that crippled how many kids trying to get a polio vaccine, but FDA approved it. Using the people in the 50s and the 40s as guinea pigs for the polio vaccine. Remember that? Does anybody remember that? That happened with RFK.
Pretty sure that was before my time, so I can honestly say I don't remember that.
Okay, so where's history? Where's our history books? Where is our learning about our American society, and where's the history of learning so we don't have to learn this all over again? So
we don't have that in the history books. We have things like Christopher Columbus founded America, which, you know,
and that's even controversy now because the radicals Want
Yeah.
to turn it upside down.
Yeah.
People, please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Read the labels. Read the labels, because you could be taken. Here you go. Toradol, kidney stones. Toradol. Toradol is the only shot that's going to help you with the pain of kidney stones, and you can only take it one time every 6 months because it destroys your liver. Did you know that? But they don't tell you that because the human wants that pain to go away right now, and they don't give a shit what you have to do to get that pain away. So you're allowed one Toradol shot. I stopped getting those shots because my liver enzymes as an autoimmune started to deteriorate. But yet they still administer it. Why is that? Why do we do that to our own selves? To our own selves be true. If you are a Christian and study the Bible, to our own selves be true. Look it up. Why are you poisoning your body with big pharma? Right?
Because we're not patient and we want an instant gratification.
Okay, so
for instant results. We want to be better right now.
Bam, Catalina wine mixer.
You have homeopaths, you have Chinese medicines that have apothecary. All the leaves, plants, trees, barks, roots around the world are grinded up to make these things. This is Native American homeopath. This is Amish homeopathic. This is the apothecaries in the Amish. They're not going to the hospitals. Think about it. What are they doing? And you're going to be, well, we don't need to live in that caveman time. Well, then you're going to have your organs destroyed, your spleens, your livers, your heart, your lungs, because of taking something because you have acne. Then that is your choice. But don't blame the administration for trying to help and assist in finding what is wrong with Big Pharma, what is wrong with our FDA system.
Well, that's the reporters. I've always said this from the point blank that, you know, it's almost like the NFL. If the reporters want to, if the White House wants to stop the griping, the bickering, the aggressive questions, the aggressive questions is what gets me. I don't know why they put up with that, you know. Don't come at us with aggressive questions. I see it every single damn day. They need to tell people in the media, hey, look, you can ask the questions without getting aggressive. Because
just
when
be respectful.
But when people see that, then they're going to get aggressive. Because people feel like, just like when you're in a room and somebody begins to clap, we don't just stare at them and look at why the hell is he clapping? No, usually people start clapping with them. It doesn't take much. I mean, if one person stands up, 9 times out of 10, somebody else in the room is usually going to stand up right beside them. And it doesn't matter if it's negative. It doesn't matter if it's positive. It just happens. It just happens, you know. And I tell you, if you know, and it's kind of off the point, but I'm just telling you, if anybody is on social media and anybody starts getting trolled or bullied or anything like that, all it takes is one person to shut that shit down, rather than, you know, oh, I heard about that too. I heard about that too. No. You didn't hear about it too, because if you heard about it too, you would have brought it up a long time ago. Help people. Don't bully people. Help people. Don't bully people.
Raise them up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do remember. I just know Big Pharma has been a Achilles heel to this MJ persona.
I just don't like the reporters' questions. I mean, there's...
I think they're mean. They're disgruntled, and they are very they're very divisional, and it is divisive. But you know, and I know Trump said it because he said it at the thing yesterday. He can't forgive that. He has a different ideology. He hasn't found, I guess, the wholeness of faith of God, and as it is spoken. And that's how I see him. However, do I believe he's doing the best job that he can with Art of the Deals and trying to get us out of deficit? I mean, we were in 36 trillion deficit just the Doge team took care of a lot of that.
Well, we have a lot of people in society that holds damn grudges. I mean, it's a good thing that they're not leaders. I think it's just natural for people to hold grudges to a certain point. Yeah.
So everybody, if you know somebody who's always has something negative to say, ask them, do you feel okay? Are you okay? Mental clarity, spirit, mind, and soul. Are you okay?
I always just ask them, do you need a hug?
Ask, some people just don't even, they just bypass, you put blinders on, you walk away because you're sick of it. But if you're sick of it and you're not going to do your part in helping and raise that vibration or actually trying to balance somebody's mind, then you are what you in general, we, right? Then we as society need to take that blame. We need to take that blame, because the only thing we're doing is throwing trash out of our mouth because we want everybody to see it our way. But what makes your way so special? Why? Explain yourself. Don't use social media either, because half the thing that's going to come out of your mouth is going to be garbage. But you have to balance, and you have to calm these people, and they're divisional, and it's by state. I'm watching state to state, and I'm like, dang, it's very divisional. It is truly an awareness that I think all Americans need to open up their eyes and see that instead of loving love thy neighbor, and we want to profess that we are all Christians, then love thy neighbor. Stop hating your neighbor because of his belief. Where's the thou shalt not judge? Stop judging your neighbor because of his belief systems. Mm-hmm. This is problem. This is mankind. This is a very societal issue. And that's my opinion. And you only pray, and you can only give your right hand to God and say, please help them, because they truly are unhealed. That's my take. And then I come up to my mountain and I retreat, and I'm like, well, I'll just turn it all off.
I'll say it again, and we'll probably close with this because we're running out of time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we gotta be sharp.
The day they come up with a way that they can take dandelions and they can make it into some kind of like an eatable food that doesn't taste bad, that tastes pretty normal, that will be the day that they come out with the cure for cancer. Just watch. I'm just throwing that out there.
You can eat dandelion, and you can tincture it, and you can, because we eat it up here. And the other
thing, you're a cook. I'm not a cook.
And the other thing, what you really want to take, and I posted it up here, it's called moringa, and you sprinkle that shit everywhere. Moringa, that will do all your inflammatories, your autoimmunities, and your neuroimmunities. Squeeze it as much as you can on your food.
Is that going to make my meat curtains itch? I mean, is that really going to take me to the Oval Office?
You better watch your lower socks. It might drag. No, I'm only kidding.
All right. Hey, you know what? I love you guys. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of it. I've learned a lot today. And
me too.
I hope you guys did too. Those that are listening and watching. Please stay tuned. We have an awesome Navy veteran coming on.
Full speed ahead.
Full speed ahead.
Whoop, whoop. Peace out, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.